we doing tonight, people? What is everybody doing tonight? What is your goal for tonight? Are you on your phone? You on your TV? What are you doing at this time? 8:52. What's everybody doing? Is everybody eating dinner? Sitting on your phone? What is your worries about today? No worries. Just wanted to see, do a little live. Wanted to go through my poetry book, Simple Thoughts by Tom McGraw. Let's see if I can read one of these. You want me to read one of my poems? Let's see. What are we gonna do here? What do you want to do? You want me to read a poem? What do you people want to hear tonight? What do you want to talk about tonight? You want me to read one of my poems out of my poetry book? You want to talk about the world in general? Stress? How's everybody getting along in life? What are your worries in life? What does everybody think? Let's even get a group of people in here. What are we doing tonight, people? What's your worries about today? What are you guys worried about? You worried about global war? Worried about paying the bills? Anybody have anything special to talk about? Let's see. How about we do faded memories? Faded memories out of my poetry book. Let's see. Faded memories. I realize now it was nothing at all. How I felt, what I thought. I have fooled myself. Wanting something so much, feeling something, making it so real. Yet there was nothing at all. All this time, all these years, I was so sure she was the one. I fooled myself. She stared and smiled, so I brought her gifts. She called and jumped. She called and I jumped so high. She said my name and the earth shook. I have fooled myself. I made something when there was nothing. I wrote a script, yet there was no play. I sang a song, yet there were no words. How could I have fooled myself? All that I have done, all I have seen, just all my delusion, my own private nightmare, chasing something that could not be caught, hunting something that did not exist, searching for a treasure that could not be found. I have fooled myself. Faded memory. Faded memories. Let's see. How about Against the World? What about that one? Let's see. Do you remember how far we have come? Do you remember how hard we struggled for each other? Do you remember how lonely it was without each other? Our struggle is against the world that came against us. Together we stand, divided we fall. Our love is pure and real. All these years it stayed with us. My love for you is strong. You are always on my mind. I dream of you and see our future. It is not in the world we trust. Jesus has been with us all these years. He has kept us close for this time. Believe in us and have faith. I am proud of you, my love. I want no other but you. You are my life and my future as I am yours. Love like ours is a gift from God. Stay strong and remember how hard it is to get here. Trust in Jesus. He will carry you, and he will show you with me is where you belong. Little poetry from my poetry book, Simple Thoughts. Let's see what else we're gonna read here. This one I wrote, the passing of loved ones. When loss comes, who can hide from? When loss comes, who can hide? Where can we flee? To see a smile, to hear familiar laughter, to remember a warm embrace, to feel love poured out. Familiar smells, familiar sounds, echoes through your head. You wait for a phone call, you wait for a knock at the door. The room spins, time moves so quickly, when will it end? The pain stays and the agony lingers. Just a breath is what you need. No time to stop and cry, no time to let go. You watch the days waste away, you hope it is not real. Yet there is hope, for Jesus cradles us all. Remember your loved one's voice, for at the gates of heaven they will call to you. Remember their embrace, for they will be there to greet you. Remember their smell, for it will fill your senses that day. In all the sorrow, nothing is lost. It is just waiting to be reclaimed. In all your grief, they wait with Jesus to remove your tears. In all the lost days, you have eternity to reclaim them. Remember, there is always hope, for we are Jesus' children. He will not abandon us. Jesus and his love has embraced us all. Jesus' love has embraced us all through our loved ones. Fill your heart with your loved ones. They watch over us now. Fill your heart with the hope, for they are not lost but free. Fill your heart with joy, for they are at peace. Fill your heart with remembrance, for they live in us. Jesus loves us all. Our loved ones are home. That's a little poem from my poetry book. That's Loved Ones. Would you like me to read another one? What do we got here? Let's see. Do not fear. I don't know about do not fear. If a breath is what you need, Jesus gives it. If rest is what you need, Jesus pours out his love. When there is no more to give, Jesus lifts you and carries you. If you are sad and feel alone, Jesus sprinkles his love on you. When you are afraid and you think all is lost, Jesus shows his strength and fights for you. If life squeezes you beyond what you can carry, Jesus opens his arms and removes your obstacles. If you feel lost, Jesus lifts you up in his arms and cradles you as a little baby. When everyone comes against you, Jesus is your shield and he will repel them. When you cannot see a way, Jesus provides you with the road. When things seem impossible, Jesus makes them possible. If you are afraid, Jesus sends his army to remove all your fears. No matter how strong your enemies are, Jesus is greater than all. He will defeat them all. That's Do Not Fear, my poetry book, Simple Thoughts. So what are we doing, people? How's your day going? You want another poem? Does anybody want another poem? I see a lot of eyes. Nobody really communicates that much on these apps, huh? What about Light Entering the World? You want to read that one? Light Entering the World? Emptiness was everywhere, darkness all around. Yet into the world came a great light, my Lord Jesus the Christ. He poured out his life for all the world. Accept him and you will have peace. He loved you more than his own life. He gave the greatest of gifts. He has poured out his love on you. He has stretched out his arms to you. Believe and you shall be saved. He will not abandon you. He will never leave you alone. Feel his love, it surrounds us all. Repent of your sins and he shall forgive you. Cry and he shall comfort you. Sing and he shall be glad for you. He accepts all that come to him. He has asked nothing of you except for your love. Jesus has done all for us. That's Light Entering the World. So what are we doing today, people? Anybody got any conversations? What do you think about the state of the world today? Anybody have any thoughts on the state of the world today? Let's see. What could we read today? I'm going to read one more out of the poetry book. Let's see, what are we going to do? I'm going to read you the one I wrote for my mother. That's a good one. She asked me to write a poem for her birthday gift. So I wrote this poem. It's called Mother. Mother is the name for God in a child's eyes. Mothers mold and shape us. Mothers mold and shape us for the days and years to come. They carry our sorrows and joys. They fear for us and protect us. From birth, our first sight is our mother. As babies, they feed us and clothe us. As children, they show us the right way to live. As teenagers, they cry and worry for us. As adults, they try to encourage us. We as children forget the value of a mother, yet they carried us in their womb. There's no greater place in heaven than for a great mother. Mothers sacrifice their life for us. They put their dreams aside for their children. From their youth and the strength to the wear the years have drained from them, they have sacrificed all for their children. When you look at a great mother, you see our sins and hardships. For mothers bear all our troubles in life. Every moment of our life is imprinted on them. In a great mother, you see the hardships of her children. In a great mother, you see all the sorrows and the rest in our lives. A great mother bears all life's trials with you. Your scars she suffered with you. When you cried, she dried your eyes. When you hurt, she bore your pain. When we rebelled, she did not sleep. When we became adults, we put them to the side and caused them more pain. If you see a worn-out woman beaten and broken, there you will see a great mother. When you see their youth snatched away from them, there you will see a great mother. A great mother has all the years of her children sown into herself. A great mother's heart testifies to the love she has for her children. And that's Mother. I wrote that for my mom because she wanted a poem for her birthday. It's in my book, Simple Thoughts. You can pick it up anywhere, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, anywhere. So it's Simple Thoughts by Tom Straw. And you can pick it up anywhere. Want me to read another one? Anybody? Does anybody speak on this app? You guys all wave a little hi once in a while, but nobody really speaks. Nobody really chats. Where are you all from? I see a lot of people joined. Some people join, they go in, they go out. Let's see, you want another one? One more poem? How about we read Path to Growth? Do you see the stars? Do you see the stars? Does not the sun shine? Days and nights go by. Years pass Years pass as if not there. Yet our Lord is forever. As babies, we need care. As children, we need guidance. As teenagers, we rebel. As adults, we struggle. As we pass on in years, we wish we could do it again. Jesus has grown and groomed us. He has lifted us and carried us. At our lowest, he was there. At our hardest times, he embraced us. His love has never failed. His love has never faded. We are beaten and broken, but not defeated. We will struggle on and prevail, for our Lord commands all, for he has never left us. All belongs to him. And that's Path to Growth. So what's up, people? Every night I'll read you a couple of poems. What are we doing tonight? Anybody having a good time? Worried about bills? You're watching TV, you're watching your favorite shows, you're watching them trying to blow up the earth. Some leaders we got. So what are we up to today, people? I see everybody saying hi, but nobody really talks. Where's everybody from? I'm from Pennsylvania. Fixing up my office here. So don't mind the mess because I got a lot of work still to do. What do we talk about? So what do you think about the situation in the world? How do leaders decide the decisions they make? Power, greed. Why can't they all share? What is the malfunction in our world? Why is there so much anger in the world? Does anybody know that? I can't figure it out. There's a huge malfunction in our world right now. Somewhere there was a disconnect for sure. A lot of division, a lot of people fighting. It's odd. I grew up in a time where, it was a rough time, you know. You grew up in the 70s and 80s, it was a rough time, but you still found a way to have conversations. You could have a serious fist fight with somebody in the 70s and 80s and have a beer with them the next day. Now, you can't even say boo to somebody without somebody being upset. And they won't talk to you. Listen, I've lost friends that I've known for 30 years over difference in political beliefs. That's somebody you knew for 30 years. In the 80s and the 70s, you would fist fight, try and kill each other, and you'd have a beer the next day. I'd really like to understand where the malfunction happened. Where do we go from being able to talk about everything to not being able to talk about anything? That's a dilemma that we all have nowadays. Trying to figure out where is the dilemma. How did we get to the point where we can't talk about things? If you would have grown up in my time, forget about it. Everybody's upset now. You guys be in real trouble then. How much time do you guys all spend on TikTok? You scroll around. You know what I found myself doing? Why I do a lot of hiking, why I go outdoors a lot. So I'm sitting on my phone and I'm looking for something and I'm scrolling. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for something. They designed it that way. It locks you in, freezes you to the screen. We're all looking for something. What are we looking for? There's nothing there. It's amazing the way they designed the system to scroll. It's like you get locked in, you know? What am I looking for? Everybody's looking for something on their phone, right? Instead of putting the phone down and going out for a hike, going outside for a walk, spend about 5 hours scrolling for nothing. What am I looking for? And I caught myself doing that. It's almost like a scrolling zombie. You know, you're scrolling. What am I looking for? You know? Does anybody find themselves locked into the scroll? Just keep on scrolling. You're looking for something. You don't know what you're looking for. Anything. Show me something. Whole bunch of garbage. We're all, the AI is just out of control right now. There's so many AI videos. And I see people commenting on these videos, and they're not even real. The videos are fake. And everybody's sitting there commenting on them, You'll see there'll be somebody very aggressive with somebody, and it's totally AI. And he's like, I'm on the left, I'm on the right. It's not even a real video. I watch these actors, too. They have these actors. They do a lot of skids on planes and buses, and it's a skid. You can see the same actors over and over again. One guy hits the guy's hat off. The other guy puts the foot on the plane's, the guy's seat, plane rest. And there's all this hostility and everybody's commenting back and forth. And the whole thing's a skid. They're on multiple different videos. It's a whole skid. They switch different, different roles. But it's just one big skid. They're just designed to get you to fight. The more you comment, the more you're fighting in the comments, the more viral their clips go. So they want to make it as aggressive as possible, because then you're picking sides left and right, and then they're just getting more and more views. The more you guys are fighting in the comments, the more views they get. I think it's incredible. And I always tell people, I'm like, these are actors. They're actually actors. I've seen them in so many different videos, so many different YouTube videos and Facebook videos. And sometimes they'll play like the father, and it is a soldier, and he's coming home, and the dad's upset. His son's like struggling, and there's like a whole heartfelt moment and stuff. And it's just amazing because the same actors, if you watch them, it's the same faces, same actors, just different parts in a different skid. But it's amazing how many podcasters they're not real. They're staged. They're designed to feed off each other. So you'll get you got Candace Tucker on one side, and you got Tim Pool and all the other. They're all just feeding off each other. It's scripted, So I think it's hilarious because they know to get views. They know to get clicks and likes. The more you're going back and forth between the both of them picking sides, the more views they get, the more clicks they get. So it's amazing how they go total 180 sometimes. You get a person that thinks one way one time, and then he goes another way another time. And it's all just for clicks and views. It's to get you guys focused on them, So instead of actually looking for something good to look on TikTok or YouTube, you're focused on them, the division, As long as you're focused on them, you're going to be stuck in that negative mentality, And I like some of the podcasters, but you can see when they're scripted, they have a narrative, They're reading off the narrative. Some people that I've been watching, you can tell right away when somebody bought them because they had one point of view. And then you can tell when they're getting paid to promote a different kind of view. And all of a sudden they're reading from a script. You could even see sometimes they're reading off a script. So I think it's pretty interesting how we got away from all the mainstream media that was corrupting us, making you go left and right. And they infiltrated the YouTube and Facebook and X and all that stuff. They knew that you were freeing yourself from all that garbage. So they put pretty much scripted podcasters, to do the same thing the mainstream media was doing, but now on podcasts. And for a little while, I thought there was some good intentions there by some of them. But the more I watch them, the more I know it's scripted, Everything's a script, everything's a play. So be aware when they're trying to get you to pick sides. That's when you know there's a problem. Anybody that's really a real podcaster and really a free thinker is never going to want you to pick sides. They're going to want you to freely think. They're not going to make you to go left or right. They're going to want you to be you. They're not going to guide you to a certain point of view. When they start guiding you to a certain point of view, scripted, I want you to be a free thinker. I don't want you to be scripted and decide whether you, left or right. It doesn't matter to me if you agree with me or not. Be a free thinker. Free thinking is very important, especially nowadays, because they don't want free thinkers. They want controversy. They want you to be all poking at each other and fighting each other. And it's throughout the whole world. It's not just here. It's scripted everywhere. They want that chaos. In the United States, they caused a lot of chaos now as they want to basically replace our system here in the United States. They have to cause so much chaos that you say to yourself, hey, we need a new system. And it's all scripted. A lot of paid people doing a lot of bad things. And they script it for a reason because they want you to think the system's collapsing. If the system's collapsing, then you're going to want a new system. And that's what they want. Left, right, they're both pushing for the same thing. Don't think there's like all of a sudden there's some good Republicans over there. They're pushing for the good thing. It's all staged. Democrats, Republicans, they're all pushing for the same thing. I don't know how many times I listen to Republicans talking about how the First Amendment is a problem. I listen to the Democrats want to get rid of the First Amendment. It's all scripted. So whether you're getting rid of the First Amendment on the right, the First Amendment on the left, you're both criminals. It's just what it is. They want a new system, trust me. They don't want the old system. They think and are impressed by dictators. They want a dictatorship here. They want to be able to just tell you what to do. They don't like all the constraints. That's what makes our country better than any other country, is that we don't have a dictator. And it's disappointing that they think that's strength. Dictators are weak. They're just bullies. So George Washington was probably the prime example of what a great leader was. He did not want to be president. He did not want to lead the army. He didn't want to do none of that. He just did it. He took that upon himself. They wanted to make him king, and he refused. They wanted him to stay forever, and he left office. Now that's a great leader. That is a rarity nowadays. They all crave power, statues, Nobel Peace Prizes. I've never seen so many weak leaders. Those are weak leaders. If you need somebody in this world to validate you, you're weak. You're insecure. I'm confident in myself. I don't need nobody to validate me. I don't need nobody to tell me good job, good boy. I know who I am. I know my strength. When you need people to validate you, that makes you weak. That doesn't make you strong. When you need statues, portraits, that's not strength, that's weakness. Our other leaders, when they got a portrait made of them, it wasn't because they wanted to. They didn't want that. They were humble. They didn't want to be in pictures and all that stuff. It's the difference of the leadership in the old days and the leadership today. Always looking for validation. Look how good of a job I'm doing. If you don't have the confidence in yourself that you're doing a good job, then there's a problem. That's a weakness. You got to know you're doing a good job. If you question yourself, then there's a problem. To me, I don't question myself. When I'm making decisions, what I'm doing, I know that I'm doing right. So it's amazing how insecure people are nowadays. That's a problem. You know, you should be secure in who you are. You shouldn't need people to validate you. That when you need people to validate you, that's a weakness. And they know they could exploit that. They'll use that against you. Anytime they see that you need validation, they're going to use that to manipulate you. In life, be secure in yourself. You can never be manipulated. Oh, what happened now? Limited visibility. Well, what did I get restricted for this time? Talking about people's insecurity? What, oh, what, oh, what? What did we restrict me for now? Let's see. Live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. Live is not eligible for recommendations and restrictions and search results for the next 10 minutes because your live does not comply with the For You field eligibility standards under a community guide on the reason. Misinformation that may cause moderate harm. What misinformation? That the leaders are weak and frail and they need validation. They restricted me. Can you believe they restricted the live? I'd have to replay this and see what exactly I said to be restricted. That's fear. The elite fear that. See that? They fear hearing the truth. Is that something? That's pretty interesting. Every time you speak about them, they get a little nervous and scared. Why is that? You're trying to make them stronger, not weaker. It's like they want to be weak. They want to be afraid. Why is that? If you have strength in yourself, nobody can manipulate you. But if you need validation from everybody, that's a weakness. Interesting. We gotta wait for the restriction to be over. It's the pretty interesting thing. 8 minutes, you're blocked. Restriction. They don't want the message to get out. They don't like when you talk about them. They get upset. What are you gonna do? So let's see. Talk about little boys' hurtful feelings. Let's see if I can read you a poem. See if I can read you a poem. Stolen breath. You want to read? You want to hear a stolen breath? You have given all there is to give. Your struggles have been long and tiring. You have trusted and put your faith in people. In a breath, all was stolen, everything swept away. Dreams come only to be gone, moments left empty. Breath removed, sanity lost, what has become of you? You prayed and pleaded for peace, but it was stripped from you. Tear after tear, pain on top of pain, like a flood, it consumed you. You grasp for a breath, and you cannot find one. The pain so real, seems never ending, wave after wave it comes. In everything much confusion in your heart, love and hate. How will it end when a breath is all you ask? You believe you received a breath, and then it is stolen away. You believe you received peace, and it is snatched away. All you cry for is for a stolen breath to be returned to you. And that's A Stolen Breath in your poetry book. Simple Thoughts by Tom Straw. Barnes & Noble's, Author House. You can buy it anywhere. I'm on a restriction. I've been a bad boy. I've been restricted. Every time you talk about the elites, they restrict you. That's scared little boys, you know? What are you gonna do? Very hard. Very hard. What can we read? Let me read you one about the love of my life. I wrote it for her. Soulmates. It's out of my poetry book. From birth, we were joined. In the womb, our love grew. As children, we dreamed of each other. As teenagers, we fought for each other. However, the world threw us apart. However, our love was still there. We fought, but we fought for love. We cried to be close to each other. Even then, we could not live without each other. Our love was still strong. We are searching everywhere for each other. Although we were never apart. One phone call, one drive, and there you were. One cry, and I was by your side. One whisper, and I heard you. I felt your heart beat even when I was not there. Your pain I felt, I could never flee from it. Never doubt our love, only we know it. Through all this, we endured all. Through all this, our love grew stronger. Our hearts are joined forever. Our souls have become one. My love is yours alone. Your love has come back to me. You are my wife and I am your husband. The world tried to destroy us, but it only gave us strength. Be strong, my heart and soul. Remember, I love you always and forever. And that's Soulmates. We're on a restriction. TikTok put me on a restriction. There is no free speech in this country. You believe this? Y'all lied. All you big boys up there in charge lied. No free speech here. And that's a problem. Nobody likes a liar. Nobody likes people that lie. What to do, what to do. Free speech. Free speech with a limit. Only what we say goes. That's not really free speech, is it? What are you guys thinking about free speech? Is anybody paying attention? Limit my live. You can only say stupid, idiotic things, and then they'll let the live go forever. If you're dancing around, shaking your butt, they'll let the live go. You could do the most hideous things, and they'll let the live go. But if you talk about the elite, they shut you down. That's pretty interesting. Hey, here's a good one. Moments. Moments come and go. In a flash, they are done. Moments grab hold of us and do not let go. You move down a road, moving from moment to moment. One breath and another moment passes. One blink and another rolls by. You wish you can extend these moments, but you cannot. You look into someone's eyes. You drive by someone, just moments. You have a child. You're at a wedding day, just moments. You walk down the street and smell a sweet smell, just moments. You eat a great meal. You see a great film, just moments. Moments make up life. They are what makes us who we are. In a moment, you fall in love. In a moment, you learn to smile. In a moment, you learn to cry. Moments reach out and grab you. They do not let go. Moment to moment, you learn who you are. In a breath, someone is there. The next, they are gone, just moments. At times, as time goes on, you will have so many moments. Hold on to them and do not let go. For once that moment is gone, you cannot reclaim it. Learn to love every moment. Your life is those moments. That's Moments out of my poetry book. We are still in a restriction. We're locked out for 1 minute and 10 seconds still. We were locked out. Nobody can see my stream. Isn't that something? You can only talk about what they want you to talk about. That's not really free speech now, is it? But I test the system. You got to see if they're really lying to you or telling you the truth. But you can tell they're lying because obviously they restrict everything. It's amazing. I did a whole Epstein segment. Epstein was actually murdered. He didn't commit suicide. It was actually his CPAP machine. The cord from his CPAP machine is what they used to kill him. And they put a age restriction on it. There's nothing really bad on that video, but they put an age restriction on it. We'll talk about that once we go live again. Oh, boy's getting upset. We're almost out of jail, people. Almost. Oh, look, we're out. We're free. They set us free again. We lost all our people that were following us. But now we'll see if anybody else joins. Talk about Epstein. You want to talk about Epstein? Epstein was actually murdered. In his room, there was a CPAP machine. That CPAP machine, the cord from the CPAP machine, matches his neck marks, not the sheets. I did a little forensic investigation. So the coroner lied because it was actually the cord, the CPAP machine cord, that was used to kill Epstein. Epstein was murdered. On his little desk there and there, he was writing a bunch of complaints because he was thinking he was getting out. He was going to submit those complaints to his lawyer. You see the whole room. It's a murder scene, not a suicide. You get the mattress on the floor. You get whoever was carrying those sheets up to his room was involved in the murder. His cellmate, guess what? Was in jail for strangulation. Coincidence. And they got him quarantined now. Nobody could talk to that guy. They got him sequestered. So you know Epstein was murdered. That was a cover-up. But I want to know why the coroner said it was the sheets. The sheets don't match the neck marks. Only the CPAP cord matches his neck marks. So I'd like to know why the coroner said that he hung himself with the sheets. That's interesting to me, because Epstein was 100% murdered. I did an investigation with used some tools, some AI tools, and the neck marks around Epstein's neck do not match the sheets. Matches the CPAP cord. You can see the CPAP cord. If you look at his cell, you'll see the CPAP cord by the bed. You'll see the machine to the front, but the cord totally away from where the machine is. Now, who killed Epstein? That's the real question. What were they trying to cover up? But Epstein was definitely murdered. And I would say that his cellmate, since he was in there for strangulation, probably did it. You know? That's why they got him tucked away. They sequestered him. Nobody could talk to him. Why didn't nobody interview that guy? That's my question. So how's everything going, people? I was on a timeout. Was not allowed to talk. They banned me because I said, too many people looking, too many leaders are looking for statues and stuff, and whining and crying all the time. Just in general, all the leaders, So they put me on a timeout. Misinformation. So much for free speech, right? So little by little, they're taking people's free speech away. And that's just cowardice. When a system's failing, they get afraid, they get scared. First thing they do is take your speech away. They don't want you to complain, nor do they want you to hear you complain. That's an interesting thing to me. I watched the collapse of Time Warner Cable. So I remember when it was 7 subscribers, and I remember it was number 1. But as they were collapsing, right? They didn't want to hear nobody talking about the collapse. So if you talked about, you could see that the company's collapsing, they would really put a lot of pressure on you. Because they knew the collapse was coming, they just didn't want to hear it. They could have fixed it. But they didn't want to hear about it. They didn't want to hear about the collapse. If they would have listened, they could have fixed the collapse and the company would still be in business. But they didn't want to hear about it. That's what happens when governments are collapsing, when the systems are collapsing. They really don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear your voice. They don't want to hear better ways to do things. So that's when you see a mess start. When governments are collapsing, that's when the mess starts. If you're a true leader, you can't get hurt by what people say. You want all the input that you can get. That's what a true leader does. When they only give you one point of view, that means things are no good. Otherwise, they give you all points of view. If they're hiding something from you, as a leader, if they're hiding something from you, if they're only giving you one side, one voice to listen to, that means the system's collapsing. It's not getting better. Always listen to everybody and listen to all the input you can get. True judgment comes from taking in all the information, not what you just want to hear. Some people just want to hear what they want to hear. Everything's good, everything's fine, nothing's wrong. They need validation rather than the truth. And that's not good when it comes to a leader. Leaders want all the input that they can get. I was told a long time ago by great businessmen. The businessman told me, you never know where you're going to find talent. They said, never overlook somebody because you never know where you're going to find talent. I lived by that motto. I never overlook anybody when I used to lead men. And I would always ask them if they were underperforming. Everybody would want to be like, oh, you got to do something about it. They're underperforming. I would always ask them, what's the matter, guys? Did your life change? And you'd find out, lost their mother, having problems with their wives, struggling to, pay bills. And that affects your performance. But people don't see that. Good people don't see that. They just want to hammer you. Two types of leaders in the world. Those that lift you up and those that push you down. There's only two types of leaders in the world. Most people think they need to push you down, right? If you're not performing, they just keep writing you up. They don't ask you why you're not performing. They don't ask you if you got the right tools to perform. Then there's the other type of leaders. They sit down and they ask you, what do you need? Talk to me. What's going on in your life? Those are the leaders that lift you up. Two types of leaders. I've seen it in business. I've seen both sides of it. I've seen great leaders and I've seen horrible leaders. The moment you're at any job that you're at and they keep increasing the paperwork you got to do, means they're failing as leaders. And I'm going to tell you why. Paperwork is laziness on the leader's part. He can't figure out what's wrong. So he's going to write as much paperwork. He's going to make you fill out as much paperwork. When you don't fill out your paperwork right, he's going to go to his manager and say, that guy didn't fill out his paperwork right. And that's why we're failing. I've watched it numerous times. We can talk about metrics. Metrics is the worst thing that ever happened to companies. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's say I write down that I want to earn $400,000 this week, right? And I earn $290,000. My metrics are horrible, right? But then I put down, you know what? I want to earn $300,000. That's my number. And I hit 290. My metrics is good, right? So you can make metrics look like anything you want. You can manipulate it into anything you want. Tell you a story. At Time Warner Cable, people that actually did the job, stayed longer to fix the job, had worse metrics than the guys that just never fixed the job, just left the job, changed out the boxes and left. And the problem was still there. But the guys that were actually staying took longer to fix the job. Their metrics were worse because they were staying longer. But they were actually doing their job. That's why metrics is horrible. And I don't know how many times I talked to different people about how horrible metrics is, because metrics you can manipulate into anything you want. Doesn't matter what, you can make it anything you want. So as long as you set the rules, you can make your metrics look good or bad. That's why metrics is why companies are failing everywhere. Because people manipulate the metrics. So as long as you change the numbers, you can make your metrics anything you want. As long as you change the rules on what your metrics want to be, you can make them anything you want. So I think that's why a lot of companies are failing. Poor leadership. I think probably this is the worst time in history for leadership. I've never seen such bad leaders in my life. And it's companies and everything in general. You know? Right now, I don't know how many people are still struggling in life. Things might get better down the road, but right now, there was a minuscule change in our lives. But they're touting this spectacular, incredible change in our lives. Like, maybe, what do? Save 10 cents on gas, 10 cents a gallon. Maybe we saved a little bit on eggs, but everything is still through the roof. It's ridiculous. Down the road, I think things will get better. But right now, they're not. So, here we go again. Jeez. Restrictions again. Can you believe they restricted me again? Can you believe that one? That's impressive. You talk about the economy struggling and they restrict you. There's no misinformation there. I wonder who's watching my feed right now. Who could be watching the feed to be banning me and restricting me? Pretty interesting. Nobody likes the truth. Nobody likes the mirror. Everybody just rather hear what they want to hear. Why is that? Why don't we want to hear the truth? Why does everybody want to hear a lie? That's pretty interesting. Why not the truth? Why perpetuate a lie? What is the deal with that? What to do? I think we're going to need new leadership in the world. I think it's time for Babylon to fall. What do you think? If they're going to keep restricting you for little things, it's not really free speech, is it? What to do? What to do? I think it's time for a new class of leadership. Can you imagine that something so simple as just a regular conversation gets banned, blocked, as harmful misinformation? The economy's struggling. Country's struggling. Anybody that says any different is lying. The billionaires are getting richer, but the people are not. So what's with the restrictions? What are you afraid of? That's an interesting thing. What to do? People want lies. Why is that? Why is that, Mr. President? Why do people want lies? I don't know. Why don't people want the truth? Why don't people want the truth in this world? Why, oh why? Why do people like lies better? Here's a good poem. Remember to live. What use is a tear if no one is there to wipe it? What use is laughter if no one is there to hear it? What use is love if no one is there with you to share it? What use is an embrace if emptiness fills it? What use have you for a heart if it is empty? What use have you for speech if your words are not heard? What use is life if you are left alone? What use is there in birth if death is sure to follow? What use is there in the sun if a storm shall surely arise? What use is there in a breath if it shall be snatched from you? What use is a dream if it is left as a nightmare? What use is the world if evil fills it? A tear has use because it molds your heart. To love is to be alone, for you sacrifice for all. To embrace is felt in the heart. It grows you. A heart is given so light remains in you. For a hard heart brings darkness. Even if speech falls on deaf ears, in your words authority still resides. Life is the greatest gift given, even if you suffer in this world. Birth is the moment of existence. That moment can never be removed. Death can never snatch it. The sun can be darkened, but the storm shall pass, and it shall shine all the brighter. It took a breath for you to enter this world. To breathe is remembrance of the gift of life. If a dream is made a nightmare, learn to dream again. If the world is full of evil, remember goodness has overcome it. Existence is a precious gift. From birth to death, you are here. No power on earth can remove that. Remember to live. Simple thoughts. Tom Straw. Oh, the principalities. What are we going to do with the principalities when they won't listen? What to do, what to do. Principalities. What to do about the principalities. Current live is restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation restriction results because your live does not comply with your feed. Nice. They banned the live altogether. Can you believe they banned the live altogether? One person in the live. Are you even there? Can you even see the live? What to do with the principalities? What are we going to do with you? And you don't listen. I guess I'll cut the live off since they cut me off. Remember, don't fear the one that speaks. Fear the one that silences speech, like what just happened tonight. That's interesting to me. Pretty interesting. Look at that. Your live is ineligible for recommendation. Your live is not eligible for a recommendation and restricted in search results because your live does not comply with your For You feed eligibility. Standards under our community guideline, reason misinformation may cause moderate harm, issued on January 16, 2026. Boy, we got a lot of work to do in this country. Because it looks like we're going to have to do a reset, I guess.